5-pack workout number 4. We are going to start with a combination exercise. It will be a push-up plus a mountain climber. So we want to operate at a slow to moderate tempo, full range of motion push-up, power up, and come up into a slow mountain climber. Now, when we do mountain climbers, we want the knee to end directly under the waist and maintain that core stabilization throughout. And also, as you perform your push-up, you want to be nice and strong and stabilize in the shoulder girdle area. So your shoulder blades, everything is engaged as you push up. We're going to treat this as a core exercise for all intents and purposes. Next up, we are going to perform a reverse plank. So we're going to sit on our butt, feet flat on the ground, hands behind us. You're going to press those hips up, really squeezing those glutes. This is really good for not only glute activation, but also shoulder mobility. It really opens up the chest as you perform this. So it's just really good for your shoulders. Good, steady tempo all the way to the ground. Press all the way through the glutes. Next, we're going to turn into a prone position on our belly, hands right next to our chest, and we're going to perform a press up. So as we press up, we're going to try to go full extension of the arms, keeping that waist on the mat, really extending our spine. If you find that you can't fully extend your arms, that's fine. Just come up as far as you possibly can without pain, and slowly challenge yourself the more you do this particular movement to get a more of a range of motion, more of a complete range of motion. But remember, it's all about where you're at today. So coming up next, we're going to come up to our feet. It's going to be another combination move. We're going to go into a single leg Romanian deadlift, so a single leg RDL plus a sprinter pose. This will really challenge your balance and stability. So we want to make sure that our core is engaged at all times and try to go as slow as possible just to really focus on controlling the movement. Now, while doing this, you may find you may have to tap that back leg on the ground or the moving leg on the ground or whatnot just to maintain balance. That's fine. This is a very challenging move. If you lose your balance, just reset the core, refocus, and keep it moving. So as you can see, my left leg is not as stable as my right leg, so it's more of a challenge on this side for me. So that's why I'm taking care to really focus on the move, really focus on my stability, reaching down towards that toe and coming up into that nice sprinter pose. My opposite arm matching that leg as it comes up, as if I was sprinting down the track. Very good. All right, next up, we're going to go into a V-up. So we're going to go down to the mat in a supine position, which means on our back, arms are overhead, and we're going to just crunch up into a V, reaching toward those toes as my arms and legs come up together, really using those abs to pull myself up into position. This move takes a little bit of coordination, a lot of core strength. So do your best. If you can't reach the toes, it's okay. Remember, it's a process. Trust the process. Do your best, and everything else will fall into place. One rep at a time. All right. After those, we are coming into a lateral lunge with a side reach. So You get a nice deep lateral lunge, step behind, and really stretch out that rib cage as we reach up and over. Now, one other thing to remember as you reach that arm up, you're also kicking that hip out to the side to get deeper into the stretch. Take your time. Speed is not a factor. And remember, when you're doing any exercise, any set of exercises, our goal is never to just get to the end of the set. Our goal is to have as many quality individual reps as possible. So I want you to take on a philosophy, quality over quantity. Okay? If you find that you can do 8 good reps and the other 2 reps are not so good, it's okay. You work to get 10 good reps. But remember, we don't want to focus on speed right now. We want to focus on control and quality of movement. All right, so after our lateral lunges, we are going to perform some Divebomber Pushups. So we're going to start in a kind of like a downward dog position, a pike position, and we're going to go down and swoop up into that, sort of like the press up that we had at the beginning, and press up at that point and come back up to that pike position as we go in reverse. Get a nice extension as you press through, and also make sure that you are breathing through your reps. You don't want to hold your breath. You want to breathe both directions. Make sure your body's getting the oxygen and the fuel that it needs to perform. This is a challenging movement. It'll get better with more practice. That's why we call it training. We are training the body to be better. So if you find any of these movements to be difficult, be patient with yourself. Give yourself a little grace and just keep practicing and working at it. And I guarantee you will get better with time, just like everything else that you've ever tried to do. The more you work on it, the better you get at it. Good. Next, we are going to transition to a half kneeling windmill. Half kneeling basically means we're going to be on one knee and we're going to perform a windmill. So all we're going to do is place one hand on the ground next to the foot as we rotate the other arm above head into that T position. Your eyes are going to follow the up hand just to get a little cervical rotation. Now this is a simple move. It's more of a preparation for greater things down the line. There's exercises that we'll do in the future that involve this particular movement pattern. And also it's very important that we work the body in these rotating or twisting types of movements just to help keep the spine mobilized and also just to ensure that we move 3-dimensionally. You just don't want to go front to back and side to side. You want to have some rotational movements in your program to really build that complete mobile functional body. Now, as we perform the windmill, the front leg is remaining as stable as possible, and I'm just rotating my spine around its axis as I complete this set. All right, next up, one of my favorites, squat to stretch. So feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, arms start overhead. We're going to do a nice little toe touch. Pull those hips down into a nice deep squat, arms inside the knees, pressing those hips up. That's 1. Come back down, chest up nice and proud, press hips up for 2. Now this move is very challenging. It will challenge your hip mobility, um, flexibility of your muscles, mobility of your hip, knee, ankle joints. This one may take time to get this deep, but I encourage you to work on it. This deep squat position is a natural position for humans, so we should do what we can to master the ability to get down into this deep squat. Once again, make sure you're breathing through all your reps, and that will conclude one set of workout number 4 in our 5-pack series. Have fun.